stuff went off all the time. It was a daily occurrence. I can't remember a day in the prison service where I didn't hear an alarm. I remember days where I didn't get involved in restraints, but some days you'd be restraining 3 or 4 or 5 times a day. My first memory of seeing, or I didn't even see, hearing violence was in the old segregation unit. So they built a new block, which was most of my career was spent, but there was an old seg, and we were sat in adjudications. So adjudication is almost like going to court. A prisoner does something wrong, they have to sit in front of a governor, and the governor will take their privileges off them, or they'll find them not guilty or whatever. So you sit in adjudication. How adjudication works, it's like a little room with a table, governor sits at one end, and there's a chair at the other, and you walk the prisoner in, and you say, give your name and number to the governor and wait to be seated. Okay, name and number to the governor, they stand behind the chair. They sit down, pull their chair, and then you sit behind their chair with your foot on the chair. So they can't push the chair out and fly over the desk. And I'm sat in there with this con, and the other screw that's in there is one of the big guys. And we're sat there, and there's this room with a little door, a corridor, and then the cells are straight opposite. And this con's banging on this door, push, push, push. He's giving F you and F this and I'll do. And the governor, we'll call him Governor B, didn't even look up from his paperwork. He's just like that. And he just says to the other officer, Officer C, quieten him down. And I just kind of looked at him and went, yes, Gov. And he got up, he unfolded himself out of a chair because he's huge, opens the door, he wears the keys, cell door opens, just a bosh, dosh, boy, just there loads of thudding and crashing and bashing. Cell door shuts, screw comes back in, sits back down, thank you. And that's it. Like, I was like, what has just happened out there? Like, that was the most surreal, insane thing. But I didn't get hands on. So restraint was part of the job, putting your hands on prisoners, because you're doing it for your safety. You're doing it for everyone else's safety. The first time that I was involved in a restraint, I remember the con, I can remember the con's name, I can remember the 2 other screws that were involved with me. And they said, right, we're gonna go and issue this guy some paperwork. He's getting a warning. So we went in, we opened his cell, and he became really aggressive. He flew at one of the other screws. And at that point, it's restraint for the safety of everyone around you. So grab the con, down on the floor, twisting him up, and you use pain compliance, so it's wrist locks, and we're down on the floor, and we're restraining this guy. And I looked at his face, and he was screaming. But he wasn't screaming because he was angry, he was screaming in pain because we was twisting him up. And the other 2 screws just didn't seem bothered. And I'd been involved in a lot of violence, I'd been involved in a lot of fighting, I'd been to war, but I'd never had 3 people on one. And I found it really hard. The first restraint really hard, psychologically really hard, not physically because there's 3 on 1. And the other 2 screws they're just involved in it. And I remember coming out afterwards, and I felt, I don't want to say ashamed. I don't really know how I felt, but I didn't like it. I did not like it at all. But that become the norm. There was restraints all the time. And the more you did it, the more it just become natural. The more you justified what you was doing, the more it become natural. Restraining the prisoner, use of force paperwork goes in, he become refractory. We was defending ourselves. He was not complying. And before you know it, the prison service just becomes a revolving door of violence.
What was your most difficult restraints?
So I can tell you a hard restraint. So there was a con who was American, and he was an American footballer, and he was huge, and not just huge big, he was fat, and he was getting deported, but he was American in the UK on a Jamaican passport. So I don't know the ins and outs of how, but he was. So he was getting deported back to Jamaica. The only problem was he was homosexual. So if he was going to go to Jamaica, they were going to kill him. And there was 2 other people that were getting deported, and he says, they know that I'm gay. Like, as soon as I get off that plane in Jamaica, they're going to kill me. You can't send me there because they don't accept that. And he was like, well, you're going. And he was like, well, I'm not. Well, you are. So he's in the seg, and he's saying, and he's the nicest con. Like, the cons, when we'll get into it in a bit, but cons weren't bad. Not all cons were bad. nicest con, polite, friendly. He was decent. And he just said, I'm not going. What are you going to do if I don't go? Well, we'll put you on the transport. Well, crack on then. So we're sat in the office down the seg. And I remember there must have been 6 of us down there, and some of the big lads. I was like, what are we going to do? Like, we're going to have to restrain him. It's like, yeah, but how? How do you restrain someone? That's so we'll just go in and do it. So we did. We went in, and normally for a restraint, if it's a planned restraint, you get kitted up, you take shields, you have a team of 4, and you have a team of 4 on standby just in case it goes bad. I can't even tell you how many people were down there. We didn't get kitted up because he wasn't doing anything wrong. Like you can get kitted up if people are refusing to come out of the cell or whatever, but he had said he wasn't going, but he wasn't really doing anything wrong. So it wasn't going to be. So we opened the door and we said, come on, it's time to go. Not going. Oh, not going, y'all. I don't want to bust the accent, but not going, y'all. Well, okay, if you don't go, we're going to restrain you. Okay, crack on. So we jumped on him. And I mean, the screw that was on his head. So the first thing you do is hand on the back of the neck, head down. So they're straight down, head between the knees. Couldn't bend him over. Couldn't bend him forward. There's 2 of us trying to get his left arm, me and another screw. Couldn't move his arms. His arms were like that. We couldn't move them. So this went on for about 15 minutes in his cell fighting him. And it was staff assistant segregation unit, so everyone's coming down. We're trying to fight this con, and he's not even fighting, and he's ragging the biggest guys around like they're nothing, throwing 2 people on one arm against a wall, and we're freaking fighting him. And then he just changes and drops to the floor and stops responding and just lays there. So we restrained him and was holding him in restraints, but he's just laid still. And we're like, what are we going to do now? Well, we're going to have to carry him. Like, this guy weighs like 20 stone. I'm knackered. I've been fighting him for the last 20 minutes. So there's a technique in control and restraint for carrying. You don't just pick them up. You do it in a certain way. So we got him in the position we needed to. If I remember rightly, it's a 4-man carry. But even 4 people carrying 20 stone of dead weight is hard. So we carried him out the cell. We got him through the first door, through the next door, and someone went, rest. And that's when you stop to rest. So we stopped to rest, and some more people come in to swap over. And as we stopped to rest, we relaxed. He went, bosh, kicked this screw in the face, knocked him flying. So then we had to jump on him again, fighting him in the middle of the corridor. I mean, I can't even tell you how many screws there was. So, I mean, this went on for like an hour, probably an hour fighting him in the corridor before he finally gave up, right? The funny thing is, we got him out the back door of the seg, into the yard where the transport was waiting. They had sent civilian transport to pick him up, 2 civilian, G4S, 2 G4S officers. And they went, what are we going to do if he kicks off? Like, it's yours now. You're in, if he kicks off. That restraint. So most restraints was 3 staff, 4 at most. That restraint, there was 26 use of force paperwork went in. It took 26 staff, nearly 2 hours to move him 100 yards.
If you're looking for a gift, my new book, Sit Downs with Gangsters, is available worldwide on Amazon. We've interviewed over 1,000 people now, and we selected 10 of the hardest hitting stories to go in this book. Each chapter features the story of one of our podcast guests. Those stories are Shane Taylor, Knife Maniac's Redemption; John Elite, Mafia Hitman for the Gambino crime family; Joey Barnett, 35 years in UK prison; Ian Blink MacDonald, £6 million bank robber; Chet Sandu, Asian smuggler in Spanish Supermax; John Lawson, the hit team commander; David Macmillan, international smugglers Thai death row prison escape; John Abbott, San Quentin prison shootout and escape; Michael Francis, Colombo crime family capo portrayed in Goodfellas; and Wildman, English enforcer in Arizona prison. Link in description box on YouTube, available worldwide on Amazon. Also, my next book, Untouchable Jimmy Savile, is getting published in December 2023. So check that out as well. It will be available worldwide on Amazon. Thank you for listening. Cheers.
I kill you! A knife and a cosh and all that, and he's looking at me, and we went white, and then he was gone,
What is it about a tough guy that fascinates us?
Imagine I'm hearing that, I'm thinking I'm not going down today. If I go down today, I'm dead.
We're bringing you the very best of our interviews with Britain's hardest men.
They made the mistake of bringing billy clubs, iron bars and knives to a gunfight.
No Rules Fighter Bash, Stephen the Devil French, and my best friend, Wild Man. Over 2 hours of terrifying tales of punch-ups, stabbings,
That's what happens in that world. You leave people long enough, they get enough rope to hang themselves.
attempted murders, and exceptional all-round hardness. This film is available to rent or own on Amazon or Vimeo. Plus, the first 30 customers to order this film get a 30% discount on any Vimeo order. Click the link below to see if you're one of the lucky ones. This film will drop your jaw like a punch from the hard men we talked to. So why not order your copy today?